this is something that I have a complicated relationship with, because part of me loves it, you know, the dress up of it all, and part of me also kind of hates that it's not optional.
So, Charlotte, whew, what a weekend.
What a weekend, yes.
So
yes.
what was, playing Baruch or the listening party with the patrons? What was the most scary to do?
I think I was more nervous for playing Baruch, because we have quite a lot of new gear and we've only done one show before this with all of it. So we still, it's still a little bit getting used to it. Actually, in the end, the live stream with the pre-listening party was technically more difficult than the show was. So no, but both went great. It was fantastic to be on stage again in Baruch. It was a really nice festival, really like family atmosphere, and really cool. And the listening session yesterday was really cool too. The band was here. Patrons got a first impression. I think it went down really well. So
yeah. Does that? I mean, you also know the patrons are people that, I mean, they will tell you if they don't like something, but they're also your fans. They are your die-hard fans. So their reaction, was that able to calm your nerves for the actual release that's happening in a few days? Or is that still something like, okay, here we are?
I'm still like, it's always exciting. It's always exciting. However, I was really happy to see that they know exactly where the songs are coming from. They know exactly like what we've done in the meantime to get there. So I think that also their expectations have been rising with ours. So I think maybe even though they're all people who are very supportive by their very being there, I also feel like they're the most invested. So I was also like maybe more nervous for that. But, everyone was really happy. So except for maybe the ones that didn't tell me.
Well, there you go. Well, you'll never know. But I mean, hey, at this point, you're unfortunately too big of a name that whatever you put out, there might be a million positive comments. There will be at least one comment trying to tear you down. That's unfortunately the reality.
If everyone likes what you're doing, you're probably doing something
wrong.
No, I'm not going to say you're doing something wrong, but like I'm pretty sure that whatever you do, like if you make bold choices, people are also going to dislike it.
One of the singles, The Crying Room, that came out recently, you've shared before that, well, kind of comes from, having to go back on stage and, needing to have a space somewhere to kind of let my crippling anxiety come out. There's a lot of anxiety themes in this album, a lot of fear in this album. But it's also like your third album in 3 years. And I mean, maybe we'll eventually look back at this as the first true album. Maybe this is the real debut album compared to the Tales albums. But if you are somebody that often deals with this kind of anxiety and like, will I be able to do this? Are you then also able to allow yourself that one moment of reflection and go like, I fucking did it. I should be proud of myself despite my anxiety?
I have a hard time feeling things beyond relief. Like if I get too excited about things, I'm afraid that sometimes I'm even afraid that I will jinx stuff if I'm like, yay, I did that, But I do feel happy and relieved when the things do go well.
Is that also then, maybe I'm drawing maybe a little too many parallels, but is that also then why it is important to have on this roller coaster of an album, which, the previous two albums were a little bit kind of like anthologies of songs. This is an album. We get a roller coaster of emotions, a lot of variety in the emotions. Musically, it's maybe more one unit than the two albums before. But with all these crazy emotions, was then also important to have the revamped version of Soft Revolution at the end, to which I at least perceive as a very hopeful song. Like there has to be a positive, at least there has to be at least a light at the end of the tunnel visible.
Yeah, I think especially paired with Vigor and Valor, which is very much about kind of requesting or manifesting, maybe even like strength in yourself. I think in combination, that song in combination with Soft Revolution, that they kind of put a sort of hopeful conclusion on the album. It's not about truly totally like conquering fear or not being afraid anymore, but it is about trying to do the things even though you are afraid.
Also, like the I already thought the previous version was good, but the new version of Soft Revolution is also just really good. You must be happy how that came out, right?
Yeah, I'm very happy about how it came out. And, some people ask like, oh, weren't you happy with the version as it was? And it's not like that at all. Like, in fact, I think it was my favorite song of all of the songs. And I thought specifically this one was worthy to be re-recorded with this group and with the extra effort. And I wanted to put some backing vocals on the to put some backing vocals on the choruses as well. Like this one always had some sort of magic when we performed it live, and I just wanted to take some of that magic and put it on the album. And Timo had to condense his like 10-minute guitar solo to a little shorter one though, but
yeah. I think you kind of threw everybody a curveball when you first released the Exorcism song, where you allow your vocals to do some different things. Throughout this process, have you learned new sides of your voice that you might want to explore more?
Yeah, I can finally do the screams well enough that I do them live as well.
Okay.
I really enjoy doing them, and it's definitely something that I want to explore a little bit more. Like, I really enjoy that. And I'm also just building stamina again, like in a general sense with the singing, because in a little while we'll be going on tour, and I haven't done a full tour yet. I haven't done a full tour in 5 years. So and this is a heavy tour. It's going to be great. We're joining VOLA, and I'm a big fan. So it's going to be absolutely great. But like the last run, I think, is 10 shows in a row, like without a day off. So I really have to, like, I'm training now. You can see the corner of it. Like, I have a treadmill here. And I'm doing the Taylor Swift, where I'm singing the song, singing the set on the treadmill to train myself at, especially at singing while tired and nervous, maybe like with my. So I'm definitely focusing a lot more on vocal performance again, whereas in the last couple of years, I kind of saw my voice more as a tool. Like, I'm writing songs, I'm putting out music, and whatever story I want to tell, I'm just going to do it. And if I have to do it 20 times to get it right, that's fine, because it's not like I'm on a stage anyway.
Right.
But now I'm kind of going back into, really going back into training to get back in shape, because it's a muscle after all. Like, it needs to be trained like any other part of your body. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you won't have, Alyssa anytime on stage with you to scream if you need to, like you've had in the past at certain times.
Exactly. Yeah, but that part is because I'm singing at the same time. So I think
Yeah,
that is actually going to be Otto's problem when she's not there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the exorcism, definitely.
Now, to talk about, Alyssa, and that, we also have Simone obviously on the album. Was it hard for you to limit the potential like excitement of having guests, because this is after all still your album? Like, did you want to not have too many guests? Sometimes you get solo albums of people and every song there's like a guest singer, but then it kind of also takes away a little bit the identity maybe of an album. Was that something that was on your mind? I mean, we know that it's hard to pull you and Simone apart, and you talk about VOLA tour. We're all now that Simone has her solo album as well, we're all kind of waiting for you guys to announce the Simone meets Charlotte tour at some point.
That would
But
be wonderful.
that would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can then finally drag Arian out of his shell and go on tour again, but that will never happen. But was that something that was on your mind, that like, I'm already kind of recreating a band now? That's cool. There's a band feel now, but there shouldn't be too many eccentric flavors on the vocal style.
There wasn't like a real consideration like, okay, like, do I want to have guests? Like, how many guests do I want exactly? It was more like there were certain, like the songs with Simone and Alyssa, like they were very specifically songs where I thought it would be a very good idea to have them specifically.
Right.
Like dopamine was about a topic that Simone and I kind of bonded about, and then when I put the first version on Patreon, she texted me like how much she liked the song. She was like, "This is my favorite of yours," and I was like, "Okay, well, if that ever gets on a record," like I made a mental note back then and there.
Yeah.
And as for Elisa, like we've done a lot of collaborations, and 4 out of 5 of them now are based on classic, like famous poetry. And yeah, when I made "Ode to the West Wind," this one is based on a famous poem by Percy Shelley called "Ode to the West Wind" as well. And I thought that she'd be perfect on it. And there was one other song where we considered that it might be good to have a guest, but in the end, we didn't do it. And actually, that song didn't. It's only on the vinyl as a bonus track now.
Okay.
We were kind of on the fence about it because I did a vocal effect where I kind of sounded like a man, and then we were like, we were thinking of someone particular to do that part, but in the end, we didn't. Okay. And I also kind of like the vocal effect, so it was more like what feels right, and also what kind of fits organically, than to think like, is this too much? Is this not enough?
Yeah. One other guest that well, not a guest in a sense of singing, but somebody that's been active with this, who is very active behind the scenes. Very few people know his name, but it's cool to see that we've got Vikram helping you out as well. Who, you know, Silent Skies is really cool, but he's in so many places. You know, like, you know, if you dig deep enough of a lot of records, he's somewhere involved. You've talked about really liking more of a band feel again with this, even though it's your vision, it's your product, but opening up to even people outside of this band, letting others really, you know, push you and help you and challenge you. Was that hard to do in this whole process, going from everything me in the, you know, 2-3 years ago, to letting those babies be dressed by different people?
I don't think so. Like I really have to give everyone credits for also doing things that I absolutely loved.
Right.
And you know, with every step that the songs took, and you know, with every added arrangement, or because in the case of Vikram, for example, Timo and Joey had worked with him before, and they said, that might be a good one, because I was thinking like maybe I kind of liked what I did myself, like in the keys and orchestration departments, and I asked, and I thought maybe for one or two songs we can do like big orchestrations, like bigger than it's not my specialty to do, so I was like, maybe we can ask someone just for one or two like big orchestrations, and I sent the songs over to Vikram, and I was just blown away by it. So in the end, I just sent him everything, because for me it's just if the songs get better, if they improve from someone's involvement. Like I know what I did for the songs. I wrote them. I already put them on Patreon. Like I had my moment of introverted. Iggy, don't be in front of the camera.
It's okay.
I had my moment of like being close to the songs, like in that songwriting phase. So, in the arrangements and in the performances, everything that happened after that, it just felt like a gift, If I take Soft Revolution as an example, like I remember that, that we had like, before it got mixed, you're kind of collecting all of the parts. We did the drums first, everyone was there and it was great. And then everyone starts recording their parts. And I was keeping an eye on, schedules and things, and you're more kind of in work mode with the songs to get everything in time to the mix and stuff. And of course, I got everyone's work there, and I listened to it, and I thought, okay, this is absolutely great. And then I sent it to the mix. But when I got the mix, this was kind of the first time that I got to listen to it, like with a little bit of distance, like without the work mode focus, so to speak. And I ugly cried so hard when I heard the first mix. The piano and the bass and the drums and everything is breathing. The guitar solo and the orchestration, like it all came together so wonderful. So there is nothing in me at that point which go like, yeah, but I didn't do that. It's just it's not a thing.
It wouldn't be an interview of Charlotte Wessels if we don't shamelessly talk about the appearance feature. You've or however you've fully grown back, your full hair, and I wanted to ask you about that, because that was his journey as well. I remember when I think it was the second time that I got to interview you. You had recently shaved your head for the video, and we talked about that for a little bit. We were joking that people ask about your nose ring or whatever, but as a woman not having hair or having short hair, now growing back, I don't know if you maybe at times already missed the short hair, but I know from friends that just as a choice choose to have a shaven head or very short hair. Once a day at least somebody asks them if they're okay, stuff like that. And people are looking. That whole journey must have given you such a new experience and lessons that you've learned that you otherwise maybe never would have really had. Is that a fair assessment or assumption? Like, are there things that you took out of that? Forget about the fashion, forget about, I was surprised in a video, I all of a sudden had short hair, but just on a deep, personal and human level, did you take stuff from that journey?
I think honestly maybe a little less than I expected.
Okay.
Like I expected kind of a burden to fall off of myself, because for me it felt like shedding a bit of that performativity that comes with being an artist, or because this is something that I have a complicated relationship with, because part of me loves it, the dress up of it all, and And part of me also kind of hates that it's not optional.
Right.
It's, you know? So it felt like I'm very happy that I did it, and it felt for me as a personal statement, like, okay, felt like a thing like, okay, I'm beyond, I want to be beyond, you know, if the hair is a representative of, you know, that performativity and the looks, and like, I was like, if I shave my hair, then that's kind of a fuck it gesture. But the thing is, that's not how it worked, because I shaved my hair, and then, you know, my face was, I became much more picky about things in my face. It's just the attention goes elsewhere.
Okay.
So, and of course, a lot of people have opinions about it, or they think that you're sick, or they think that you're, you know, either physically or mentally. But yeah, the thing within myself, I realized that it wasn't in the hair or in one aspect of that performativity. I say the word performativity a lot.
That's okay.
But it helped me realize that I had that kind of complicated relationship with it. And it also kind of changed the way I do it. Like, now I feel like I'm maybe even more over the top about it. You know, in the recent videos with the wigs and stuff.
Yeah, we have noticed that.
yeah, but also just to, because for me it is a costume. It's not my day-to-day thing. So, yeah, I mean, it did give me like some new perspective in the end. But it wasn't like shave your head and you don't care anymore. Like,
right.
You know, it just moves elsewhere. The attention just moves elsewhere.
There's so much coming. The album's coming out. It's a really cool album, and I'm sure that the patrons told you that. I do. I genuinely do, and I don't tell everybody that on interviews. I love, obviously, Soft Revolution new version as well. The Dopamine track is really cool, but I think that you mentioned a few songs that haven't been released as singles yet that might be amongst my favorites, especially the one that goes so well with Soft Revolution. Charlotte, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I know how hectic these days are for you. So thank you for taking a little bit of time to answer my stupid questions. And I look forward seeing you on the road soon. I know the VOLA tour is just the start, and I look forward to seeing you somewhere on a stage in 2025.
Yes, I look forward to it too. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure talking to you, and until next time.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.